So I was on Reddit and I saw this post. It gravitated towards me, something about it. I wanted to give it a shout out to everybody and just read it out loud to everybody and just share my thought with this individual, honestly. So this one is for you, Your-Duchess. I just don't know what to do. I've always lacked in self-esteem and I am extremely critical of myself. My appearance, my personality, my goals, my intelligence, just everything. The first time I remember thinking I was fat and trying to lose weight, I was maybe 8 or 9. I dealt with disordered eating for a couple of years in high school and dropped down to a pretty unhealthy weight for a bit. But I was able to get back on track, and after a couple subsequent years of weight gain rebound, now I have a pretty healthy relationship with food. However, I still experience excruciating negativity towards myself and I don't know where it comes from or how to fix it. Moreover, I just experience a lot of inner turmoil and negative thinking patterns. For example, I dealt with some issues a couple of years ago with my partner not being over his ex. Him not being over her isn't an issue anymore, but she's still kind of not over him and continues to poke her head in every once in a while for some reason, even though she's blocked on everything. She attempts to use their mutual friends as a liaison to communicate with him. That part was intriguing, the way you worded that. I really loved that. Even though I know my boyfriend loves me, we've been together for 4+ years now and lived together for 2+ years now, I still experience intense rage towards this girl and a lot of insecurity about myself and my relationship. Am I good enough? Am I better than her? Am I prettier, more fun, more successful? Are my friendships more meaningful? Is my life more meaningful? I am obsessed with hating her. I am obsessed with hating myself. I am obsessed with comparing myself to other girls. And I am obsessed with analyzing my relationship. It is not something my boyfriend is doing wrong anymore. He fixed his behavior years ago, and I recognize that this problem is with me. I experience a bit of social anxiety and general anxiety, though the worst of it is over. 2 years ago, I attempted suicide but sought therapy and medication for my depression/anxiety. I no longer see a therapist or take medication. I don't feel suicidal and I am happy most of the time, but I just have this deep inferior complex or something. I don't know what to do. I just spent like 2 hours researching nose jobs after an argument with my boyfriend. What the fuck is that? The thing is, I know I'm not an ugly girl. Women compliment me, men hit on me, my boyfriend raves about me. I know I'm not stupid. And I know I have a lot of potential. But it doesn't seem to matter what I know because my emotions aren't connected to logic in this matter. I need advice. I need advice on how to love myself, how to forgive the past transgressions, how to move on, how to stop intrusive thoughts and negative thinking patterns. Just any advice. TLDR. I am caught in the pattern of negative thinking, self-loathing, and bitterness. Help. So that was that. That was by Your-Duchess. And so I read your post and honestly I didn't know what to think in the beginning because it just wasn't what I expected it to be. And that's the first point that I would like to get across to you. Because it is human tendency to pass judgment on almost everything, whether that be negative or positive. And I strongly believe it's our judgments that allow us to sometimes stumble upon greatness. However, that greatness in itself is a double-edged sword. The beauty of life is that anything in life can be a double-edged sword. And secondly, I'd like to touch on the subject of fear. And the reason why I picked fear in particular is because many of us are ashamed to be afraid. We're ashamed to run away. We're ashamed when we show weakness. We're ashamed to cry or admit defeat. And if you just think for a moment, perhaps, what is that pain? Where is it coming from? and what is causing it. You won't find an exterior motive to your pain, because more often than not, there aren't any. Because you know what? You can go through so much hardship in the physical world. You can go through beatings, muggings, assaults, so much. But your willpower and your desire to live for the simple sake of seeing it to the end will allow you to embrace what is coming. Because the thing is, we are afraid of not knowing. We are afraid of the what ifs, and we are afraid of the failures and the gambles that we have to take. We are afraid of not knowing. But the reality is, if you knew everything already, well, what's the point, right? You know what? The reason why this stuck out to me is because I understand when you say intense negativity, and I understand when you say sorrow from within. You know, sometimes even to myself, it feels like there is a burning fire inside that I can't seem to extinguish. And I want to make a difference because I want to feel important, because I want to have a meaning. But the fact that you were brave enough to write what you wrote, you know, that's the thing. When I read what you wrote and I read how you composed it, you were so thoughtful and thought out. And the thing is, you were consciously aware. And that is step one. Knowing what you are doing and how it's hurting you, that truly is step one. You are more enlightened than I think even you understand, my friend. You have a beautiful mind, clearly, an elegant way of how you present your emotions. Something not many of us can do. And it's okay to feel ugly. It's okay to not feel good enough. But for yourself. Because in the end of the day, in the end of every day, when you're in bed, when you close your eyes, your mind carries its own vortex. And in there you find so much, right? Think about it for a moment. When you close your eyes, can't you just imagine so many possibilities? And you notice a pattern that when you're happy, you think of all these amazing thoughts, but one thing will trickle and trigger everything to just utter destruction, and it feels like it's a chaotic ball of wave of destruction. But it's crazy when you can actually just push that back and change your mood, like boom. You're just a whole nother person. I want you to... I don't know how old you are. And I think you're in your mid to late 20s, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But I want you to know something, okay? You can look at life like you have 100 years. 36,500 days, my friend. That's assuming you live to 100. 36,000 days. A lot of it's already done, right? Think about one thing or multiple things, or think about what you're doing and how it's affecting you, and think about what you would do if it wasn't. It's life. It's complicated, right? Because there are so many factors that way into every decision and every thought. But when you go down to the core of life, right, isn't it just you make choices and you live with it? Make a choice for yourself. Because, and I can go on for so long because, you know, for me, I'm living with this every single day, right? But it's the pain that makes you stronger. Somehow, some way, you might actually just enjoy it a little bit without realizing it. So ask yourself why, first of all. And if you can honestly answer yourself why you continuously go down this pattern of thinking, then you can move on to phase 3. Then you can move on to phase 3. And phase 3 is that there's only one thing that you or me or any one of us can truly control. And it's not how we look today, it's not our hair, it's not what we wear, it's not what people say about us, it's not landing the biggest promotion. The only thing that we have honest control over is our emotion. Might not be easy for everybody, but we're so busy trying to control everything else, we fail to control the one thing we actually can. I dare you, my friend. Choose to be that positive person. Try it. Don't forget, 36,500 days. Ticking. And if you achieve greatness, then the day that you're lying on your deathbed and all of your dreams come up to you and ask you why, you can tell them you were busy doing this. Because you found your strength, and that was your journey. Anyway, that's kind of all I got. I would love to hear a response from you. I really hope that's okay that I did this, and I really hope that it helped at all. But anyway, thank you so much for your courage and honestly sharing what you did. I had a beautiful time reading it, and not beautiful in the sense that I was enjoying your pain, but beautiful in the sense that there's somebody else that feel what I also share in, but is brave enough to say it in Reddit just like that. I mean, I guess that is the new going up in public speaking of today, right? Alright guys, thanks a lot. Have a good one. Wiki Guy out.